From ember to flame to blazing inferno, Phoenix Knight burns all the stages he performs on. Smashing societal norms and embracing genderfuck, watch as this bearded beast celebrates his love of all things burlesque in his unique, fiery way. Welcome back to the Burlesque Bulletin podcast. I'm your host, Honey Holloway, and today we are here with Phoenix Knight. Yay!
That's very kind. Thanks.
Hi, Phoenix.
Hi. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Finally got here.
I'm so happy to finally have you here.
Likewise.
It's been a long time coming.
It has been.
You've been so busy. You're just too popular.
Life and adulting.
You just had to, get married and all that boring stuff.
That too. And I am horribly jet lagged, so do forgive me if I don't get the brain-mouth connection happening, but I'll do my absolute best to give some sort of answers that might actually make sense.
So we were just talking about this before we went live, but tell everyone at home, what is your zodiac sign?
So I'm a Taurus. Mm-hmm. My moon's in Virgo.
Yes.
And my rising is Libra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so did you know, so you knew obviously the Taurus sign.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you knew the other stuff just before you got here? Or
I knew Virgo.
Okay, yeah.
And I already kind of knew that before I even looked at it. I've got certain Virgo tendencies. Mm-hmm. Libra ascendant, no, I had no idea, thanks to the chart, looking online to see what it was and what the traits were. And read them like, that sounds about right as well. It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, we'll talk about that stuff after, but let's get into the reason why people are here.
All right.
So, tell us how you got into burlesque.
Gosh, it's 4 years. I just finished my 4-year anniversary. And I had just moved up to Brisbane in March 2020, pandemic. So before that, I was dating Will, who's now my husband, just got back from my honeymoon, and 5 years we were living apart. So I was living in Sydney, Will was living up in Brisbane, working for an airline, my day job. I was able to fly on a Friday night, be up here for the weekend, fly back on Sunday. His tote's worth it. And that was for 5 years, and didn't know how we were going to make it work, who was going to move. The pandemic got me up here. But my life, my whole family, friends, everything was in Sydney. Thanks to lockdown, I had one good friend here, and come around September that year, she says, look, you know Will, you know me, but you need to broaden your horizons. So why don't we do an activity? I went, okay, so she goes, I've got a couple of choices. Do you want to do fire twirling? I went, bitch, I'm a hairy bear. If an errant flame or ember hits me, I'll be a Roman candle. She goes, how about trapeze jumping? And I went, can I keep my foot on the ground? She goes, all right.
Who is this crazy friend?
She's great. She's great. She's an adventurer. Susie, love you, Susie. Let's try burlesque. I went, okay. I knew what burlesque was. Yes, the movie, but also knew that it was actually stripping. It wasn't just cabaret. And I went on the website. I thought, are you sure I'm allowed to come? I am male. Being gay isn't the issue. It's a safe space for females. So whether there's a male presenting person there, would it be allowed? Would it be intimidating? Website, bombshells, by the way. And it said all genders are allowed. So I thought, well, it's all right, I'll come and do it. Susie, again, being kind of alpha, says, well, let's do 3 classes.
Oh my God.
So term 6, last term, did 3 classes, 2 of cellos, and 1 of shimmers.
Okay.
So feather fans, classic bump and grind.
Nice.
So
good combination.
Yeah, I think so. I didn't know anything about anything. And by the end of the next 6 weeks, of course, it's performance. But thanks to the pandemic, it was performance on film. Remember that week 6, I met Batman over there. Hi, Ken. Who's become one of my best friends. And I so enjoyed performing. It was, quite... It reignited something. Funny enough, that first routine with cellos, I think it was for the next year, we had Bombshell Review that they have, every few months. I was asked to perform that particular routine. And I didn't know back then, but what a coup, a beginner to be asked to perform at a review with the trio. And that was the first time I performed on stage for over 20 years.
Wow. So had you done any dancing and stuff? Yeah, okay.
I have, but again, high school.
Yeah.
As you do.
Because you look like a natural when you're dancing.
Very kind. I can't move as I used to. But yeah, so it was great. And performing on stage, I missed this. I'd forgotten how much. I thought that part of my life was over. So 23 years later, I think I was 44 at that point, and I'm now about to turn 48 in April. I reignited this passion for me. And then I went back the next year, as you do. and thought, I did beginners, I can do intermediate. So I jumped straight to intermediate, did 2 Lila classes, 2 back to back. Yeah, again, is it foolish or brave, or I did lyrical and chair, and that's when I first met. I call them the Bombshell Troupe. I don't know if that's the appropriate name, but it's the girls you always see who represent Bombshells at things like Triffid or other shows, Lecky Snitch, Mash, Ketchum, Effie Lamore, and I met them in the class and would see them perform at these reviews and shows, and then I don't know how, but Lila and the girls made space for me to be part of that troupe, and before you know it, I was starting to dance with them, which was great. And slowly but surely, I'd be doing different classes, different subgenres, different instructors, just to kind of get that feel and learn about burlesque. And then slowly, Phoenix was kind of born through that. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So how did you decide on your name, Phoenix Night?
Well, yeah, interesting one. So I always love Phoenixes, what they stand for. So being at this age, you don't get here without going through trials and tribulations. And I certainly have walked through fire to get here. So I like the idea of rebirth, kind of redefining who you are. You know? So I like that part of the Phoenix. And again, burning, like fire, sexy. And the night part, it's kind of twofold. So night, medieval night, armor, strength, but also the phonetic night, nighttime, dark night. So it was kind of a mysterious combination of the two, and it sounded good. The cadence sounded good as well. And I thought, what kind of performer would I be? I'm thinking, I would be more of that sexy, middle-aged dad. Daddy vibes.
Heck yes.
That kind of fit, I felt, anyway, conceptually. And that's how it came to be, I suppose.
Love it. Did you have any other names sort of floating around, or you just sort
something along the lines with the connotation of being a bear. So I thought that might also be something. But I kept on coming back to Phoenix and Phoenix Night. Just something, you'd hear it and it fit. Yeah.
I love that it's Phoenix because, well, Taurus and Scorpio are opposite. So I would love to know where Scorpio is in your chart, because we would be able to see. We'd be able to see like what it's sort of triggering. It might be some sort of like performer situation.
Yeah,
that's
no
like.
doubt. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so how would you describe Phoenix Night in 5 words?
Oof. Okay. Eyebrow. I think I've made a career in burlesque anyway with that one eyebrow.
That's your signature move.
Signature move.
Yes.
Yeah. Thinking that's my one move really. One dimensional. So that cheekily. This sounds kind of corny, but kind. I think it's really important. It's really important to be kind. Always lead with kindness. Always be open. Always be warm. People are going through a whole heap of stuff you have no idea about. So just hold space. So kind is really important to me. Do I always achieve it? No one does, but I do my best. I do my best for that one.
I love that. I think the first time we ever met face to face, it was just like backstage, and you just randomly came up to me and like was just so kind to me, and I was like, what? Oh, okay. Like it was so beautiful, and like it was my first time, and I was like obviously a bit nervous and everything like that. There's a lot going on backstage.
There's a lot. Yeah, it
so
is
it
intense.
really like meant a lot to me that you just said like, you know, chookas, or like, you know,
that's very kind.
And I was like, oh.
that's really kind. Thank you. I'm glad. Happy.
Yeah.
And that isn't Pollyanna, sunshine, daffodils. It's just happy in the grateful sense. You know,
I love that.
It is. It's a privilege to be out there. Again, having that break for 20 plus years, and then getting to do it again at this stage of my life. So it's all happy. I'm not looking to create a career per se, but I'm here to enjoy myself and learn and push and grow. And so I'm always quite grateful and quite happy, generally speaking. Supportive, I think. I am very loyal, and I support my chosen family. So, and I always, And supportive was me a bit of a kick in the ass too. So I know Roxy was here, and she's like, people were giving me positive bullying to do solos. I'm like, that was me. So yeah, I think supportive is important to be there for your people and to defend them, whether they're in the room or not, especially when they're not in the room as well. So be there for them.
Love it.
And fifth one, oh gosh, thirst trap.
Hyphenated thirst
trap. Again, that whole cheeky daddy, middle-aged dad bod kind of
Love
vibe.
it.
But yeah, so
love it. Thirst trap.
Thirst trap.
Can I buddy for a second?
Yeah.
Oh no, what
I
did
think your manly hairy chest is causing a bit of rust. Might just
Yeah, perfect. So hairy.
Stunning.
Hairy like animal.
Good to go. Okay. Oh yeah. So who's been some of your burlesque inspirations?
I know this is not a very original answer, but Lila Lux. I mean, boss.
It's hard not to
How
have
could you
that
not?
answer.
Especially when that second term in 2021 and I meet her and realise, oh, she's the director of Bombshells and I'm doing her classes. And she performs and she choreographs and she directs and she produces and does it with aplomb. So, and then when she performs, it's just like, oh, there's that presence. She also dances. And I think I have more of a dance style to burlesque, more so than a strut and strip potentially. And you can't help but gravitate to those who you think are somewhat similar. And I say that, not that I'm anywhere near her, but just in that style, stylistically. So definitely Lila. Talking about strut and strip or just stage presence, Jacqueline Fury. She can do nothing. She does lots, but nothing on stage where she just sits there and just looks at the audience and does one thing, and the audience lose their shit. Like it's just the best thing ever. It's like, wow, can I bottle that? And Fortuna has that as well, So I'm like, oh, I like that. So they're huge. Now, Martini. Right. Again, a beautiful performer, an amazing dancer, stunning, face meltingly sexy, but if I can say this, a dickhead in the best way. Like she puts those worlds together, and I'm like, oh, I like that, and I'm trying to put the silliness also into the thirst trappiness as well, and see how that goes together as I stretch myself. But yeah, there's so many more, but they're the ones that come to mind when I'll be looking at them and trying to go, wow, how do I bottle some of that? Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
So what's your creative process?
I think mostly songs tend to speak to me. Good old Spotify. Recommended songs or songs that like you download and they give you often a tangent. There's many times when I'm listening to a playlist and then it ends and of course then goes and grabs similar songs. And I'll hear a similar song, I'm like, ooh. And it's almost, usually when I'm driving, and the good ones stick in your head and almost you get a ready-made routine that pop in. You think, oh, a character, I'd do this, I'd wear that. And it starts to build from there.
Yeah.
And some of my beautiful loved ones have sent me occasional songs that I have used. And I've gone, I love this song, I think you'd be good at it.
Oh.
Listen to it, I'm like, shit, yeah, I think I could do something with this.
Excellent, group effort.
Yeah, I'm very, very blessed with our family and friends. So yeah, that tends to be where I start. And it just builds from there. But songs tend to be what I can see in my mind's eye, and it goes from there.
Awesome. Yeah. So, do you have any pre-show routines or rituals that you like to do?
I'm pretty quiet when I go backstage. Nerves, it never goes away. And of course, you care, you want to make a good show of it, but I tend to just go within. Not too much to the point where I won't speak to anyone. I know that some people do that, but I just like to keep it chill.
Yeah.
Prepared, get ready within relatively good time, hydrate, have little chats with usually the friends I'm performing with, and yeah, very much just let it go. To put the headphones in, and we'll do a little mental run through. Put it away, drink lots of water.
Yeah.
Thirsty bitch.
I need to remember to...
Mate, drink. And, and I'm always carrying my water to the very end of the stage and towel. And get ready. walk out.
Yeah. I always, no matter how much water I drink, I always end up with a headache at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it drains water in certain ways. I don't know what it does.
Yeah,
but
it's like the adrenaline and like everything.
Cortisol, everything just hits you. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what's been one of your favourite highlights throughout your burlesque journey?
Wow. Between beginners and cellos, 4 years later, here I am. It's been quite a 4-year ride. To be beginner to then, almost not even 2 years later, get mixed burlesque Brisbane.
I know.
That's pretty, it's still, I'm in the Australian Burlesque Hall of Fame. How did that happen?
Crazy.
How did that happen? And then the same year, getting nominated for Brisbane Pride Queen's Ball Performer of the Year. Thinking, that's wonderful.
Wow.
How wonderful to be nominated. Going there with my table of 10 people, just to, never been involved in anything gay, lesbian or queer prior, LGBTQIA+. So finally I thought, wow, this is amazing at this age of my life. Let me go, let's have friends, let's go to dinner, have a wonderful dinner at the town hall. And they called my name, Performer of the Year.
Wow.
I didn't think anyone knew me, especially outside of burlesque. And so being a popular vote of any performer and winning that as a queer man, middle-aged man, it was insane. So those two, and they both happened in 2023. So there, I can't go past them in terms of the pinnacle of things that have occurred. But next month I'll be starting my life as a tutor for Bombshells.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, so,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so again, walking into classroom, knowing nothing.
Oh my God.
And still learning to now being part of the tutor staff.
It's going to be intermediate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll get there eventually.
I'm talking about thirst trap. It's actually, it's I guess, bundled as thirst trap heels.
That's so exciting. Oh my God.
Let's see how that goes.
Oh my God. That's going to sell out in 2 seconds.
It's sold out.
Oh, it's already sold out?
Within a day.
There we go.
Yeah. So I'm very, very humble, but the pressure is now on to create something that's kind of worthy, half good.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. I know it. I know it.
Hope so. Hope so.
So what's been some maybe not so great moments or some malfunctions on stage?
Oh, costumes. The bane of my existence, costumes. But you need to strip, so you need costumes. So I get that bit too. But costumes. I think I had one act that I performed beginning of this year, end of last year, that Frankenstein, or Sluttenstein as I called it. It was this queer creation that was, put together and out to go with his pride-coloured Frankenstein suit. And that just gave me lots of issues. I think I performed it 3 times, and 2 of those times were absolute monstrous malfunctions. And I choreograph my routines pretty tightly, so when something pops off and it shouldn't, it throws me. So I'm like, well, improv it is. And that was something that stuck in my mind. I've lost many a pasty, but who hasn't?
Yeah.
Also, hairy. So getting into it here is, and so when you're twirling, I've got many a video where they are flying off. So yeah, pasties, costumes, they're the main things I think.
Yeah.
But that's the life of a burlesque artist. So.
Yeah. No falling off the stage or anything like that?
A few close calls.
Oh.
A few close calls, but nothing like that.
Okay.
Fingers
Excellent.
crossed. Touch wood.
Sorry.
Yeah?
So what's been a surprising lesson that you've had to learn or a challenge that you've had to overcome?
Gosh. This will come up later, I'm sure, but the imposter syndrome. But I'll go to that at some point. But talking kind of specifically for that is body issues. I've always struggled with weight growing up and still am. And then, here you are getting on stage after 20 plus years, you're in your 40s, you're not in your 20s, and you're taking your clothes off. It's like, sorry, what? I knew this was going to happen.
What's happening?
I knew it was coming. This isn't about a shock surprise. But you have to do it. And do it on stage. Do it on film. And wow, I remember going through mini meltdowns week 5 when it's dress rehearsal week. And it would be, I'd be in the bedroom trying the costume on and just going, how am I going to do this? Not feeling good about myself. But, you're comparing yourself to the, the Dita Von Teeses of the world.
Yeah.
That's not that's not a good place to be. And then you look around at your colleagues and students at the Bombshell Academy and go, I'm sure they're scared too. They're doing it. Women mostly, but humans of all shapes and sizes, all weights and ages and identifying factors and sexuality, they're doing it. So get up there, you do it.
Yep.
Own it. And it's helped me immensely, regardless of my weight, which can fluctuate 20, 25 kilos either way. I'm sexy. Regardless, and that's not to do with the aesthetics, it's to do with how you carry yourself. So that was a lesson that was painful to begin with. I still have my moments of, I feel so good, let's see how we go with this. But I will get up there, I will not shirk away from it. I'll get up there and I will own it. And I will, have fun.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think, a lot of people can relate. I can definitely relate to, and it is a big deal, but then sometimes you realize it's not a big deal, like you're like, oh my God, like I'm getting naked on stage, but so was everyone else.
Everyone else.
You're in it with everyone else.
You
it's
are.
great.
And the crowd know, and the crowd are cheering you on. And I remember cheering crowds on. I remember, you'd watch the occasional beginner's class, and they're there in their 2-inch kitten heels, knees are knocking. And you are yelling and screaming for them because you're like, yes. And you think, well, I remember doing that. I do that. So that's what they're doing for you. So embrace it. It's safe. It's that's what I love about all burlesque in Brisbane, but Bombshells specifically is that fostered safe space. Especially with Lila in the audience, and she will not allow anyone in the audience to, do anything other than support the crew up there. So you do feel protected and emboldened. Yeah.
So, if you could choose someone to share a dressing room with, who would it be?
I could go again and talk about some of the famous burlesque artists, but I am at my happiest with my friends.
Yeah.
So when I'm there with Lecky and Mash and Effie and Lila, and then you have Roxy and you've got Vera and all the Bombshell crew and Lucy. It's just you can have that banter. I feel at that same level where you can just chat. Because again, going through burlesque, it's students that you tend to bond with, and then you see the tutors and you go, oh, the tutors are a different level. And then when you start to get booked alongside the tutors, you go, oh, I hope I don't look like this student guest spot with the tutors. And you have to, slowly realise, no, you've earned your spot, and you can only do you. Comparison is truly the thief of joy, really is. And as soon as you relax and you go, well, no, I'm enough. This is enough. You tend to relax a little bit and go, no, it's okay. I can claim my space. It's all right. It's safe to do so as long as you're respectful.
Yeah.
Because you can claim your space sometimes by being bombastic. And you have to appreciate and respect the art of burlesque, and where it came from and where it still is, and the female empowerment. And you have to be an advocate of that and not just, I'll do it my way. Sure, but respect the art form in itself. So, and I've always come from a background of very strong women, and some people will say, I like strong women, but do they really? Do they really? Or do you want to dominate a strong person to then feel even stronger than them?
Yeah.
Man. But I genuinely love strong women. So, roundabout question, answer, but yes, I think my friends, the tutors, and you start to have that camaraderie, and that's where I get the best type of fun. At some point, this is going to end. At some point. So I'll look back and go, I got to perform on these stages with these people, both luminaries and my friends, and had a stupid fun time doing it. So yeah, that's who I want to share dressing rooms with.
Love it. So if you could swap lives with anyone for a day, who would it be?
I'll give you a bullshit answer for that one. First of all, it's nice that at almost 48, I like who I am, finally.
Love it.
Again, gay kid, othered, bullied, didn't want to be gay. The usual stuff that you grow up with when you're not the norm. So this is it. I'm okay. But no longer alive, but I loved Alexander McQueen, the fashion designer.
Okay, yes.
I read his biography recently, actually. Very sad. He's suicided, but wow, what an insane talent. Just incredible. Just to have that. And he was an artist, but he chose the medium of fashion. So that's what I think is mostly attractive, is there was a narrative that went through it, a kind of a dark and life and death narrative in his couture. But yeah, his processes and his shows were insane. So to swap a day, especially when he was at his height, would have been quite something in Paris and in London and Fashion Week, and insane rigs that he'd set up for the shows. So that would be quite something, I think.
I love that answer. We obviously haven't had that, so I love that.
Okay, great.
So what's one of your favourite things to do outside of burlesque?
I'm a bear, I eat. Food, and again, I come back from a mostly European, Middle Eastern, Northern African family. So it's just, everything's food related, and loves food, and food is love. So eating is great, and trying different eateries is great. And there's so many places in Brisbane, it's great. And Insta and TikTok tell you where to go, which is fantastic. So food. I love movies. I'll catch up with the man over there and go to his house and watch stuff on the big screen. But just, it's that friends catch up, it's TV. My favourite thing to do with my husband now is Friday nights, have nothing planned, sit on the couch, put something on TV, hold hands, and just, it is bliss.
Such a Taurus.
Mate, home comforts. It is bliss. While I love my friends, I love socialising to a point. I'm also at that age where I'm like, if anything starts after 8 p.m, I'm out. So I do like that. That is what I like to do. I love reading, podcasts. I also am a bit of a geek. I was, I love astrophysics, anything to do with space. I would just lap that stuff up. And home renovation shows that, nightly dinner, home reno shows, cooking shows. That reminds me of my mum, bless her. So those kind of things, just I don't know, comforting, get Taurus. I love comfort, whether it's in a person or in a food or in a habit. It's just about filling that cup.
I love that.
I really enjoy that.
I love it. That's my favourite pastime on a Friday night too.
Yeah, it's great.
As much as I love going out to a burlesque show. So.
Notwithstanding that. Home's great. Home's great.
Love it. So, if you could only ever perform to one song ever again, what would it be?
Oh man, that's tough, isn't it, really? Well, recently I did my first, 4 years at Bombshells, it was my first redo of a class. So opportunity was to, because every so often Bombshells will sometimes, or tutor will sometimes redo an act. And I loved Lila's Daddy Issues. And I thought, I'm doing it again. And I did do it again on stage last year, or this year actually, earlier this year. That song is just hot. For the choreo is hot, the act is hot, the song is hot. Again, daddy issues. Again, I'm a bearded guy that likes other bearded guys, but also I'm a daddy. So just that song, I think, is something that's always going to stick in my head. So if I had to pick one song, which is almost impossible, I could dance to that song, even do the solo to that song, I think.
Heck yeah.
Love that song. Yeah. Excellent.
So what's some really good advice that you've received and maybe some not so good advice?
Oof, gosh, hey. So when I was considering doing mixed burlesque, because I hadn't done a print tease, because you'd think, I thought, you go to a print tease, see how you go. That's the steps. Right? No, I went straight to mix. Again, anyway, and I thought, am I at that level? Should I do it? Am I delusional? Regardless of placing, because you can't control that. And then Lila said to me, and it's not her quote, but it's very true. She goes, confidence comes from doing the thing, never before. So you will not feel good about it. You want to feel ready for it. You have to do it. Yeah. And then you get the confidence as a result. I'm like, damn you. You know things. She knows everything. So that was something that reminds me, again, being a tutor. I've never done that. Well, I have taught, again, dance 20 plus years ago, but to high school kids, etc., for a short period of time. This is different. This is now me 40, 47, 48, teaching striptease to adults in 6 weeks with a performance at the end of it. Confidence will come from me doing the thing. So that is something that I just remind myself, just do it.
Yeah.
I know I'll do my best. I know some people who do anything half-assed, but you also can't control the outcome. So just give it a shake.
Yeah.
Have a bit of fun.
And the fear's always going to be there, so just like...
Yeah, and that's what bravery is, isn't it? Bravery is not the absence of fear, as I always say. It's there.
Definitely.
Just box on. Just do it. Get to the other side of it.
Yeah.
So that's probably the best advice that I will keep using and keeps coming up. I'm like, come on.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Love it.
Let's do it. Not so good advice. I don't know. Interesting enough, I think, and I say this, I hope it sounds too up myself, but I'm kind. I am, and I mean that. And it sounds so, hate giving myself good traits. I'm kind, but I think very few people will mistake my kindness for weakness. If they do that, they'll make the mistake once.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's a very big difference between being kind and being caring to, I can say unkind things to you, or I can manipulate you, or I can throw you off, or I can, and you get those nigging comments. I've had a few over the years. I won't repeat them because I think it's not worth giving those comments or those people air.
Definitely.
But you hold your own. There was one thing that it's funny. My good friend or best friend in university, her mother, in her thick European accent, talking about comparing yourself and whether someone's good or not, whether they think you're good or not. She goes, the British Royal, she goes, they use the toilet too. They use the toilet just as like you do.
Yeah.
And it's, you're thinking, yeah, I guess they do. So no one is better or worse. And that's what also got to me when I started to do the mixed burlesque. It's a competition, like apprentice is like. And you're thinking, I am competing. How do you compete art versus art?
Yeah.
How do you put me up against someone else and then grade you against this person? It's really tricky.
Yeah. Because art's so subjective.
It is.
As well, yeah.
Strut and strip versus comedy versus, so who makes this arbitrary ruling and ranking system? It is what it is though, so you have to make peace with it. But within that, you've just got to find your way, let that noise go, concentrate on what you can concentrate on, enjoy yourself out there, because it is a privilege to be up there, and do what you can, and just negate any, because they're going to have opinions. They'll walk off stage, or they'll tell you later, or they'll say it in a way that, will make you doubt that your place or your worthiness.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I'm just as worthy as you are. No more, no less. So once you hold that, I think also my age. It probably would affect me way more younger, and I think I was and I think I was always the mature 23-year-old, the together 34-year-old, but nothing I guess can substitute for lived years. The more time spent around the sun, the more things you will learn, and so I think that comes with a zero. It's given in the sense that I'm doing my best. It's enough.
Yeah.
I'm still learning, but I don't need your less than kind words. You can take them elsewhere. Thanks.
A quick thanks to Cam Attry for sponsoring the Burlesque Bulletin, and for all his hard work behind the scenes, filming and editing the podcast. Cam has been involved in the burlesque industry for over 12 years through his photography and videography. If you are a performer looking to get promo photos and video, or a producer looking to get your show photographed or filmed, please contact Cam through his website, camattry.photography, or find him on Instagram at camattryphotovideo. And now back to the episode. And so on that, with imposter syndrome, is there any tips that you give yourself or can give everyone else?
Yeah, I think you're always going to have those moments of doubting your ability, as I mentioned before, and about comparing yourself to others, thinking, well, that's never going to be a good idea. But it's that similar of you're worthy just because you are. You exist, you have every right to draw a breath like everyone else, and do your best. Now, when it comes to being chosen for a show, and again, we're doing Vanguard for February. Have you seen the lineup?
Yes, I have. Woo.
Automatically went, oh, like excited, but I'm thinking, here are these incredibly beautiful, sexy, glamorous. His dad.
Stop.
His dad. And you just go, am I going to be the comic relief? Am I going to be the balding, bearded, dumpy dad? Not in a horrible way, but the buffoon, the fool, next to burlesque artists.
Yeah.
So you hear that, and I heard that in my head this morning, and I went, well, I'm going to do me. I was booked by Lillian for a reason, and I'm just going to provide that act, which is a joyous, funny, silly act, and it will be a palate cleanser potentially. You will stand out and enjoy it, and make the crowd laugh, make them feel something, and be okay with that, and own it, and lean into it, as opposed to going, well, I need to match the sultriness of XYZ fellow artists on stage. So you have those moments. So once you work your way through it and going, okay, well, what can I bring? So we're very negatively based, thanks to our fight or flight, monkey brain, lizard brain.
Instantly going to the
So
bad.
when you go, okay, well, instead of where do I find the deficiencies, what is it that I can bring? What are my positive traits? What do I do well at? What am I good at? What do I know that people say, oh, you're good at this. I like watching you because you are this. I'm thinking, well, okay. And focus on those. And also, again, it's a privilege. So, scared, not scared. I'm doing the thing, and I'm going to enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're booked. You're
I'm
performing.
booked and blessed. I'm going to get up there and do it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that. If you could travel back in time and talk to yourself when you started burlesque, what would you say?
Strap in.
Get ready.
Get ready. There's no way when I walked into cello's class on that first day. It was supposed to be a 6-week short course, as people do short courses all the time.
Yeah.
Would it turn into this? Would it turn into soloing, trooping, accolades, tutoring, headlining? Headlining shows that I would hope to be booked at some point as a soloist, but I've headlined on a couple of shows now. It's like, I'm the headliner?
You're like, what?
Did someone pull out? So I wouldn't change anything. Even the bumps I wouldn't change, because you'll learn from the mistakes and the hardships. But I would just say, just watch. Have fun. Be kinder to yourself, because as we all are, we're always so good to our best friends and people, right? And then when you have the same issues, man, your self-talk isn't as kind. Man, it isn't as kind. So once you go, would I speak to my bestie like that? No. All right. Bit of grace.
Yeah.
So that, but otherwise, what a great run it's been. So I can't be anything but smiley and go, you're going to enjoy this. You'll be surprised. And I still think there's much more to
There is. There's so much more to do. And
Yeah,
you've done all the cool things, but you're still
Right.
going.
I'm still going, yeah. There'll be a point at some point they're going to go, please stop.
I don't
Only
foresee
reverse
that.
trips, we'll see how we go. But yeah, so yeah, just enjoy it. Enjoy it. You're going to have a ridiculously amazing time. And you're going to make some lifelong friends. They aren't just acquaintances. Whilst you, of course, you meet your crew and you have people that you only see for shows, and it's beautiful. You'll meet some core people that are really going to become your chosen family. And having not known anyone moving from Sydney, and it's hard to start a new life at any stage when it's not through school, where you're kind of forced to make friends, especially in your mid-40s. And to make not only acquaintances or social friends, but actual proper core friends, thanks to burlesque. My life has exploded as a result of it. So I'm extremely, extremely humbled and grateful for it.
I feel like everything's just meant to be.
It seems
Like
that
you're
way.
moving here, getting such
And I
amazing people around you.
and I was so unsure about moving here. And for the first 5 years of commuting to see Will on the weekends, I'm like, Brisbane, I don't know, I'm from Sydney. There's so much more culture and things. And then through osmosis, and then through lockdown, funny enough, when the border shut, because I'm sure if the border hadn't shut, even if I moved up here, I would go, I'm going back to Sydney to see mum and dad and see my friends. But because I couldn't do that, it literally forced me to make those networks here, because that was it. I was on a little closed island, so to speak. So you had to force yourself to make those connections and push yourself out there and do things. And I can't imagine my life any different, and I can't imagine ever moving away from Brisbane. This is home now, so, and I'm very, very happy to be here.
Yay, we're happy to have you.
Very kind.
So what do you believe is your biggest strength when performing?
Oof. This is tough, isn't it? What do you think? I'm saying oof a lot, by the way. It's
You're
a tough
allowed.
question, thank you. I'd be interested to see what you think, because you can't watch yourself. And whilst you watch yourself on video, which is always uncomfortable, I think I execute moves. I don't, and room for improvement, but I don't just fling an arm. I will extend it. It's sharp. I'll try to do crisp. I try to make every moment intentional. I try to extract all the movement. And again, it helps when you're having amazing choreographers like Lila to do routines for. I think my movement is there.
I would agree with that.
Okay, good. Good. I think I have a measure of stage presence. Not in the Jacqueline Fury category or galaxy, but I think I have a measure of stage presence, and I think that goes a long way. I remember thinking, are people watching me because I'm a guy? Because here's a sea of females on the stage, and there's been more male, more non-binary now in the last 4 years. I hope I've had some sort of influence in that. Who knows, but I hope so. But are they watching me because I stick out? I'm a 40-something, bearded, white-haired bloke up on stage. So of course, through novelty, your eye's going to go to that person. But then very soon it made me realise, yes, it might initially go to you, but only by being good will you keep that gaze.
Definitely.
And it dawned on me a few times when I loved it and giggle when some of the male partners, performers, or just straight, I call them straight, I have no idea, men in the audience will come up to me after the show and go, I'm confused. Or my girlfriend, my partner, my wife was in your routine, but I kept on watching you. I'm like, so I'm like, okay, so it wasn't just the novelty of me looking different.
Yeah.
I hopefully had something to keep your attention. So I think that's a strength. I'm hoping of mine, but can be improved. Yeah.
What about some weaknesses that you would like to work on?
Oh, mate. So, talking about, again, style of burlesque performing, I am more of a dancer. So I think I love choreographing and I love hitting those moves. And I tend to, we make a joke in class sometimes when it's a fast routine, or if it isn't, the whole no beats left behind. If there's a beat in the song, you hit it with a bit of choreo. And I am a no beats left behind kind of guy. One thing I haven't done is do a face melting strip. And surely I can do it, right? Surely I have the eyebrow, and I've got that demeanor that I can do sexy, but that also requires stillness.
Yeah.
And being confident that it's okay to be still. I'm not going to bore, because I'm always worried. Strut and strip. Those who aren't Jacqueline Fury, I'll leave it at that. After the first minute, I'm like, cute. But I think it's one of the hardest things to do, because you have to keep the interest of the audience.
Yeah.
And if you study the good ones and the great ones, you're like, okay. So I think that's one of my many challenges. One of my next challenges is to create a strip where I am still, where I do the eyebrow, where I take off a glove and I just pause and then discard. I think that I'm excited about that, because I think once I get over the hump, I think I can do it.
Yeah.
But that is a weakness because I would want to choreograph it to an inch of its
Like,
life.
oh, I'll just add a little thing here.
If there's 8 counts, I will shove 16 counts of choreo into it. You know, so I think that's, and there's a time and place for that. But I think time and place also for just pausing.
Yeah.
So I'll be working on that next year. Yeah.
I'm excited to see it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what's a goal that you have for 2025 or just in the future in general, if you have like a big goal?
That's one of them.
That you would want to share?
Yeah, that's one of them is, diversifying and going to that strut and strip. Yeah. I've got so many solo concepts.
Oh, really?
So many solo concepts. Like, oh, bloody hell. Yeah, so, and there's one that I got a costume made in Turkey recently. Because one of my backgrounds is part of Turkey and Greece, and mum's Greek Egyptian. And we belly danced as kids.
Cool.
And I'm like, I want to do something that's going to honour mum.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Because we lost her in 2022 and lost my dad 5 months later. It was a tough year. And I thought I want to do some sort of Middle Eastern act. So I've got the outline costume of almost like a whirling dervish. And I want to do something like that next year.
Amazing.
I've got some other concepts that I want to do. And I'm trying to diversify. So recently I did, Never Been Kissed, which is playing more to the comedic side of things. I think I touched upon it in Willy Wanker. But and then I kind of moved in a different, quite slapstick, but in that, I thought, well, okay, great. Well, I am not just a one-note thirst trap performer. That is part of me.
Yeah.
I love that part of me. But there's more. I can do more. So I have some concepts that are in that kind of sphere, but also sexy, genderfuck. I think that's something that I've also embraced. I think one of the things that I maybe bring to burlesque is I do it in my way. I wasn't, when I first started, I wasn't trying to emulate anyone. I wasn't trying to be ultra feminine. I was just executing the moves as best that I could. I wasn't thinking about, am I doing it in a feminine, masculine way? I was just doing it the way I could do it. But then it slowly became I think what I can do is play with that. So it was my partner, my now husband, who was a year and a half after first starting. He's like, I was all wearing flat boots, always flat boots on stage. He goes, can you just once wear heels? I'm like, no, that's a lot. I don't know if I never in my life have I tried heels ever in my life. Daddy issues, first time.
Wow.
August 2021. And he goes, can you give it a go? I'm like, okay, all right, I'll give it a go. And yeah, they're not, and idiot me, I didn't look down at girls' feet and did I see what they're wearing? And most have a bit of a decent heel or a block heel. No, I decided to get stilettos. And they are the most painful things.
Rookie error.
So the guys out there who are watching and thinking, for the girls in your life that are women who are wearing those shoes, please just give them kudos because they are torture devices.
Oh my God.
They learn dancing in them.
Yeah.
But hey, did it.
You make it look so good and natural. I'm like, wow.
It's the veneer of...
like, I'm not in pain.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, so, but then I realised the genderfuck issue. Here I am as, again, a middle-aged man. I can't disguise this. And a dad to 2 boys. And here I am looking like this up here and then wearing stripper heels, 5-inch heels, fuck me boots, and rocking it.
Yeah.
And then not looking like I'm playing dress up or I'm trying to be ultra feminine. I'm really just mashing those genders together and going, well, there's a space for all of it. So yeah, I do enjoy that, and more of that I think is also important too.
Love it. Well, we're going to play a little game.
Okay.
Excited?
Always. Hopefully I'll be good at this one. We'll see how we go.
So it's called This or That. You just choose your favourite.
I'll do I'm going to be shit at this. I'm sure there'll be someone we go, yep, and Bella's going to go,
yep.
Option 3, both, neither. But I'm going to give it a shot. I'll give it a shot.
Rhinestones or feathers?
Rhinestones. Yeah, for sure.
C-string or G-string?
I
don't know.
Not that I am, I'm okay. But I actually had bought a C-string recently. I haven't worn it yet.
Okay.
And I'm concerned about the logistics of it.
Yeah.
I think some tape is going to be required.
Oh, definitely.
Because, Things are going to be kind of front heavy. So I'm going to say G.
Okay.
There are plenty of Gs, but I'm going to try to see.
Testing. Yep.
Let's see if there's going to be stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. TBD.
Neo or classic?
I'm a Neo kind of guy. Yeah.
Boa or feather fans?
I've never done a boa class. I am going to do a boa act on my solos coming up.
Exciting.
I need to learn how to use it. But that's one thing. And my only feather fans was my first ever class with cello. I've never done a class since then.
How did you go with it? Did you?
I really enjoyed it, but I am literally a neophyte. So I would have to. And I think in recent years I've been watching feather fans classes by Citrine and Magnolia, and the artistry is like, I wish and Jacqueline Fury. I wish I knew the techniques. So I am poor in both boa and feather fans. I would like to try both, but I literally have limited skill in either. So it's hard to choose when you really haven't got that skill.
They're so heavy,
Yes, they are.
They look so beautiful, and you're just like, oh my god, how are these so heavy?
And you're there in cramps because you're trying to keep the staves separate.
Yeah. Painful.
Yeah.
But it looks beautiful.
It does. Yeah. That plus heels together is just, mate, you're in a world of pain. Yeah.
But it looks good.
It looks great.
Lace or leather?
Leather.
Tassels or assels?
Never tried assels. No, I haven't tried assels yet. No, funny enough. Now, surely that's got to be up there at some point in, tick that box. But since I haven't tried it, I will say tassels. Yeah.
Diamonds or pearls?
That's tough. I can see benefits to both. I'll go with diamonds, just to be safe, but I definitely can see the sexy benefit of either.
For sure.
Yeah.
Drag or burlesque?
That's unfortunate. As an age, I have lots of drag friends. Drag is an amazing art.
Yeah.
What an art. But I myself am not a drag performer, and I would not even dare. I find it so amazing, and I'm like, fuck, you can do drag and you can do burlesque. I can't do burlesque and drag. So those who do both, I'm like,
I know.
what
Skills.
talent, what bravery, so burlesque in that sense, yeah.
Stocking heels or stripper heels?
By stripper heels, we're talking about the crazy platform or just
in general. I mean, that.
Yeah. So stripper heels, maybe not pole heels, stripper heels.
Yeah.
After that
They're
first
like
pair.
death traps,
After that, true. After that first pair that I bought for daddy issues, I have so many heels. I have so
the addiction has started.
Mate, there's something quite sexy, and I think, even though I'm identifying, whatever you want to call it, there is something sexy about middle-aged dad, hairy dad, in these stripper heels on stage, especially if you can kind of semi-dance. There's something to be said about that. So I kind of tend towards to go the kind of sexy. Stocking heels I've done occasional, but I think I am not the best at them. So let's go with stripper heels. Yeah.
Big stage show or intimate bar show?
Obviously, I've been lucky to do both. In general, my routines tend to be highly choreographed. Like I am hitting the marks. I remove this, I move that, I do this, there's a 4 count, 8 count. So for that reason, it is more conducive to a larger stage where I can hit those marks and do less roving and more. So it's easier for me to just perform the routine, I think. Whereas intimate, you're tending to be more playful with the audience, less fixated on exactly hitting marks. Like both, but I'm definitely more comfortable with larger stage to move. Yeah.
Maybe that'll be good for your, less choreographed.
The strut and strip?
Yeah, the strut and strip. You can go through the stage.
I think so too.
Do your eyebrows.
Yes. See, I've got that happening. Let's just stop the rest of my body. I'll be okay. Yeah.
Cabaret or comedy?
Look, cabaret, but really, Never Been Kissed. I am, I thought Never Been Kissed, the recent one, was going to be a quote-unquote throwaway routine.
Really?
Yeah, because I wanted something that was new and fresh and different and silly and fun. I was about to get married, so I didn't want to do that. Because I bought that costume, as I mentioned, for that Middle Eastern whirling dervish act. But that's like a proper, and I didn't have the time or the bandwidth.
Okay.
I thought, that's for next year or for 2025. So let me do something. So I cobbled this act together, and I thought it was going to be a cute act, but it's become more than that. And people are going, I think that's one of my favourite routines you have ever done.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, even better than Unholy and better than Willie. Like, yeah. I'm like, why?
Why? I think because, like, for me, I'd seen your other acts and it was both unexpected, but you were completely natural. Like, you know?
Yeah, it's Lila. She said, you got out of your own way.
Yeah.
And it took me a second to go, what does that mean? But I guess, it was intuitive. I just relaxed. The shoulders dropped.
Yeah.
I was just having fun. I was playing. I was not a fool, but I was just dancing. I was just performing. I wasn't trying to put on a persona, even though I am playing the geek, the nerd. And that is me. So I understood what that meant. I got out of my own way.
Yeah.
I just did the thing. I was in the moment.
Yep.
And I had fun. And the audience seemed to really have fun with me.
Definitely.
And that was lovely to feel that buzz back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that act so
Oh,
much. I love all of your acts.
Thank you.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I am early.
Early?
Mate,
Like
I'm early.
5 a.m. crack of dawn?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I don't want to be, but I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, conversely, I'm pretty crap nighttime. I can stay up late, but don't ask me to do anything that requires my brain.
Yeah.
I can stay up late, I can watch TV, I can eat, I can do all that stuff.
Yeah.
But anything that requires a bit of cognition,
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Morning person.
Movies or a TV series?
I don't know what's happened since COVID. I'm really bad at committing to a TV series.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I will do the occasional one, I will. But there's so many.
Yeah.
So many streaming services.
Yep.
So to commit to all these good shows, I can't, or I don't want to,
Yeah.
or I find my life is already busy enough with my day life, my day walker life, night walker life, husband, father, friends, burlesque. At one point, like, what am I gonna, So I sometimes just err on the side of those bite-sized home reno shows, or just to kind of zone out, be entertained, but there's no real commitment required. So yes, I will watch the occasional great TV show. Movies tend to be a bit easier. Here's 2 hours, grab it, eat it, go. And one of my guilty pleasures is horror films.
Okay.
Love horror films.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've always loved being scared. Always loved being scared.
Do you have a fave?
Yes, and it's cheesy. It's the original Friday the 13th.
Oh,
from
I haven't even
1980.
seen that.
Okay. I actually, to me how much of a geek I am, I went to, so it's filmed at a camp in New Jersey. And I went to the camp in 2018.
Fun.
Overnight at the camp. Met the actors.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was a great thing. Cost me a fucking bundle.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that's how much the nostalgia. I love the 80s slasher. Like, they're so hokey. They're a roller coaster ride. And you strap in and you go and you scream and you laugh and it's completely safe. So they're my guilty pleasure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet or savory?
Now, see, that's what I'm going to say. I cannot choose between my two favorite children. Again, bear. It's sweet. It's savory, followed by sweet.
Then sweet.
I have to finish something. I punctuate it with a sweet.
Yeah, I'm
Otherwise,
like that
I feel
as
like
well.
I haven't eaten. It's something's missing.
Yeah.
So I love savory. Love all types of savory, and I'm definitely an omnivore. I was a bad eater as a kid. Typical. Everything has to be beige.
Like picky?
Horrible.
Yeah.
Like, it's steak and it's potatoes or it's pizza or it's but something happened. I think I had my first salad. This is embarrassing. At 28.
Oh, really?
Horrible. Yeah, and then because I was just I don't want yuck, and then something happens, palate wise, and then you eat everything, and I pretty much eat everything within good reason. So love savory, love salty, love umami, all that kind of stuff. But I have to punctuate it with something sweet.
Yeah. Gotta have dessert all the time.
Always. And chocolate. Piece every day, otherwise bad things happen.
Halloween or Christmas?
I'll quantify this. I got married on Halloween.
Oh,
on my 10th anniversary meeting Will. So Halloween and horror films. Not that we had a theme wedding, but just happened to be that horror films, love Halloween, met him on Halloween, first day on Halloween, married him 10 years to the day on Halloween.
Scorpio season.
It calls to me.
Love it.
But I love Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
so
Christmas
I
as
love, I think being a flight attendant many years ago, I would go around the world and I'd pick ornaments from around the world. And I'd fill my Christmas tree with all different ornaments from Germany and Austria and France, and really cute wooden, like really beautiful, not just baubles. And there's something to be said about that, and you look at the tree. So, and I love that. And last week, whilst we're sweltering here, I was in London last week.
Oh.
And Christmas lights, Covent Garden and Regent Street, like just, and because it's cold and you're scarfed up and you're in Hyde Park and you've got mulled wine and the Christmas vibes, which we kind of lose here in Australia, being that
We
it's 40
definitely
degrees.
do, yep.
So I see the romance. I think also I was there for 4 days. So of course I see the romance of being frozen, whereas I'm sure they don't see it that way, potentially. But Christmas also has that lovely vibe. And again, everything's around food.
Yeah.
And so it reminds me of mum, dad, family, cousins, where you just eat till you spew, which is traditional for Christmas. So I can't choose, but I love them for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Red or white wine, if any?
On the cruise just went on. 21-day cruise. 21 days.
21 days.
21 days.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and 10 of those were at sea. So you had to eat and drink.
Oh God.
Had to. I tried both. I went both, but I tend to err more towards red. So Pinot Noirs, Shirazes tend to be what I like. But I'll occasionally have a white. Yeah.
Cocktails or beer?
I don't like beer. Sorry. Occasional
Me
beer.
neither. It's like
I have an occasional one beer.
Not a beer guy.
Cocktails.
Yeah.
Give me a cocktail.
Yeah. Anything specific or you go to?
Vodka based. Yeah, fruity, citrusy, even lychees. I like that kind of like that summery, fresh burst kind of flavour.
Nice.
I'll have the occasional gin. I
Yeah.
don't mind gin. Yeah, I like gin. But yeah, it tends to be more the clear based alcohol ones that I like to be the base of not so much whiskey, although I have the occasional one. But yeah, the vodka, gin are the ones I really go for cocktails.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, let everyone know where they can find you and what you've got coming up as well.
Okay. Well, on Insta, it's Phoenix Night. So _Phoenix_Night_. So good old Insta. It tends to be where I am. And coming up, so Vanguard on Valentine's Day. And the very next day, I have the Bombshells Ball. So I'll be performing a group act.
Same weekend.
But also, I'll be my first ever class. Will be debuting the act. So I'm going to do different hats. I'll be nervous as hell, like a proud dad, to see that happening. So that's what's coming up in the next month and a bit, and let alone choreographing routines and building solos. So that's what's coming up in the near future. Beyond that, I have a few things planned.
The secrets. Yeah.
We'll see how they go.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. It's been so lovely.
Absolute pleasure.
I'm glad we can relate over being a fellow Taurus.
Yeah, we're good people.
We are. Tauruses are the best.
We're amazing. Amazing. And humble too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Been an absolute pleasure. Thanks, honey. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our guest for being on the podcast and letting us take a peek behind the curtain of their lives. Thanks for everyone joining us, and we will see you in our next episode.